Alright, both races readied up. Got 10 seconds. Of course, there is stream delay, so it won't start away. And they're off. Let me see if I can get a better sync. Alright, that's as good as it's gonna get. I'm not a master restreamer like Defros. You can get it to sync perfectly every time. Xander with the quick firecracker. Gotta get that extra life just in case. Hopefully we shouldn't see too many incidents in World 1. I expect to see a 259 and at least a 76 in YI4 from both these guys. Running along those brown platforms, get yourself a speed boost. Nice pair of 259s. Now let's see if they can both get the 76. Xander goes for the shell stomp strat, which does save a few lag frames. Looks like Steven may have tried to go for the shell jump and did not get it. So they'll both get 75 instead. Disappointed. Alright, Iggy's Castle is where I expect to see the first deviation here. First 3 levels are pretty trivial, but in Iggy's Castle you can lose quite a bit of time by just climbing on the nets for too long or getting stuck on the edge like Xander just did there. Steven having trouble with the door there. All sorts of minor time losses in the first room. And of course the second room is an auto-scroller, so you can't really lose any time. And then of course the Iggy fight itself usually goes pretty flawlessly. I'm sorry that I said that. I should just wait for things to happen before announcing them. Xander does take damage on Iggy, so he's not going to have his Fire Flower. So he is a few seconds behind coming out of World 1. If he doesn't grab a backup cape somewhere, or I guess a backup power-up at all, he won't have a power-up to do the damage boost in room 5 of front door. So that'll lose him a little bit of time. Otherwise, the Fire Flower isn't really helpful in the rest of the run. Ooh, Steven just barely missing the Koopa. That was a little scary. Does scrape on the clouds, but only minor time loss. Able to take off yet again. The optimal time for this level is a... Okay, unless you're doing DP1 guys, a 362. Xander getting a 361 there. That could have been a slow flying speed, or he could have He did take a few extra frames to grab the feather. Both into dry room. Stephen grabs a shell, Xander grabs a shell, no problem. Let's see if any of the fish are hungry for shells. Xander's shell gets taken up right away. Stephen gets a very nice 257. Xander with a 54, which isn't terrible for having the shell getting destroyed right away. Into the ghost house. Both runners using the same deboost strat into the boo ring. Setting it up perfectly for the spin fly in the second room. Stephen with a 67 door, and Xander with also a 67. Neither of them... Stephen not switching to his fire flower. He's playing it risky. If he gets hit, then he's gonna have to go back for a cape or something. He does take care of Big Boo with no problems. And Xander as well, with only an extra game second loss from missing one of the throw blocks on the second hit. So looks like Xander's about 6 seconds behind going into Star World. Stephen's zip practice not paying off. Super M37 Smashola. Xander also having issues. Looks like they have about the same zips. I think Xander might have had a little extra time to get the second one going. So that about evens out. Very nice gap entry from Stephen. See if Xander can do the same. Ooh, tiny bonk. That is actually really hard to swim through that gap without bonking at all. Both runners with a 91. It looked like Stephen went for the cape fly strat and just ran off one of the edges. And I think Xander just went for the slower strat. Both flying under Star World 4. Stephen with nice fast fly with 72 on the timer. And Xander with a 71. So they both played the level the exact same way, but Xander lost a game second just from flight speed. Both runners enter front door. Stephen does have his fire flower, so we will be able to take the damage boost in the second set of rooms. Room 5 here. Xander does not get door fly and will have to duck jump through the cages. And Xander will go for door 7. Without the fire flower, I believe door 7 is faster. I don't know. Somebody already figured out which door is faster and stuff, and I already forgot. In the dark room, Xander jumping a bit late. Keeps his cape. Looks like Xander's about 14 seconds behind. And Stephen loses his cape on the first hit of cape kill. So Xander might be able to pull this one off. It's exactly what he needed going into the Bowser fight, was for Stephen to mess up. Stephen does opt to take the mushroom. Gets an extra 1 second, about 1 second penalty for the power-up transition there. But it is much safer. You don't want to take a death on Bowser. Stephen will have to see 2 of Bowser's bowling balls. He does not have the Mecha Koopa to do ball skip. While Xander does get ball skip. And so now both runners going into phase 3 at about the same time. I believe Steven's a little bit ahead. The stream delay is off by about 2 seconds. But Xander has the extra Mecha Koopa, and he saw his cape. I believe unless Xander completely messes this up, he might have it. Ooh, takes damage, but he still gets the hit. So Xander with an 11.05 on his splits. And Stephen with about an 11.09. In the race room, Xander got an 11.08 and Stephen with an 11.11. So Xander takes the first win. That was a good race. The comeback. Oh, and it looks like Xander did PB on that run. So good job to Xander. All right, heading into race number 2. Am I the one that's got to start the room? Whoops. Okay. How do you exit a room? We hit the same command at the same time. Alright. This race started in record time. Let's see if I can get a better sync here. Is that closer than it was before? I think it's closer. Only by like a half a second. I have to learn from the master Restreamer. I think the best strat for syncing streams is to use not the Twitch player. So you can actually like pause and play and it will actually pause it and not just refresh. Both players with a 360. No 361 yet. Both runners have a chance for a 76 in YF4 again. Xander may have lost 1 frame running across that 1 block gap between those turn block bridges. It's a 1 in 48 chance. I believe it was 148. I don't remember. Both runners get a 59, just as expected. No shell jumps again. Steven says he can't do shell jumps. I don't know if Xander can do shell jumps, but he doesn't even take the shell with him. He goes for the lag reduction instead. That's right, it is 1 subpixel. Does the subpixel even matter in the end? I guess it depends on how you run on the platforms. It's a possibility that you could lose 1 frame. So it's a 1 in 48 chance that you could lose the subpixel, and then it's even further a chance that that even matters in the long run. Steven with an 81 and Xander with an 80 because of the final boss, the door. While running at full speed, it is 3 frames to press up to enter a door. Hardest trick in the game. Alright. Xander is able to take out Iggy without taking damage. And it looks like Steven might be about a second ahead. The video shows Xander ahead, but his stream is a little bit ahead. Ooh, that sync on that cape grab. The sync is strong. That's not actual true sync because the streams aren't even lined up. But that was pretty cool looking. You can almost cross your eyes and make a stereogram. Xander does float over the key though, so he does lose a few seconds at the end of DP1. In the last race, Xander lost his shell on like the first or second fish out of this pipe. We'll see if fares better for him this time. He keeps his shell and keeps it all the way to the end. So he does save a game second on Steven there. I was worried for a second because he rubbed his feet on the ground coming out of the pipe. Just barely. But I guess it wasn't enough to slow him down to lose the shell. Both runners, no issues in the ghost house so far. Does miss the P-switch though. It was about 3 game seconds lost. Oh, Xander takes damage on the boo. And he loses his Fire Flower in progress. So it looks like he will have to go back and get a cape. The P-switch drop and hit going into the door for the big boo fight. It's not trivial. It's something that does take a little bit of practice, but once you get it down, it becomes kind of muscle memory. Sometimes you can lose it for a little bit, and then it's like you miss it and you don't even know what you're doing wrong because you usually don't even pay attention in the first place. Super M37 Smashola. Steven had pretty good zips, and at least Xander got the second one. The most important one. Steven doing the same exact thing as the last race, running off the edge of the blocks, not able to get flight for the key. Looks like with Xander going back for cape, he is about 27 seconds behind, if I did my math correctly. Star World 3 is just not being nice to either of these people today. As Steven flies over the block, gets a 270 on the timer. Steven heading into front door with his fire flower again. This time Xander's a little bit further behind. Xander does get the 72 this time. Means he did get pretty fast fly. Okay. I believe that wasn't intentional. I might be wrong. Xander having to go into room 7 again. Takes it a little slow. He knew that those fireballs were about to shoot, even though they never shoot. Steven does not lose his cape on the first hit of Cape Hill. And I believe for Xander to catch up, Steven's going to need to make a bigger mistake than he did last time. Both runners have a decent phase 1. Steven nailing ball skip. And getting that second hit of phase 2. Leaving the Mecha Koopa behind for phase 3. Xander also with the ball skip. And looks like Steven has this one in the bag. He has a race time of 10:48. I didn't actually see what happened to Xander's last Mecha Koopa, but he doesn't have one in phase 3. Gonna have to hit Bowser twice here. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm surprised that Mech Koopa didn't die. Does nail Bowser and finishes him off in 11:33 in the race room.
End my suffering.
Was that a... I wonder if he said that in his mic or if that was a live split sound. If that's what happens every time he finishes a run on red. Alright, so this series now goes into a race 3. If Xander wants to win this series, he'll just need to keep his Fire Flower to front door and hopefully not lose Cape anywhere. And Steven just will not have to mess up Cape Kill. I'm not making the room this time. There'll just be 2 of them. Oh, no, we can just join the other one. Neat. It didn't delete itself already. Oh, Xander made a new one. Great. Ugh. Alright, it's not this one. Here we go. And they're off. It's all up to the Super M37 Smashful of Gods. Watch this race be determined by zips. Yes, there's a leaderboard for 11 exit, no major glitches. You have to go to the 11 exit leaderboards and then click the filter tab, the filter button, and in the drop down go to 11 exit run type and select glitchless. You can also filter by just orb runs or just cloud runs. So looks like there were no 361s in this series. That's unfortunate. Steven did have disco jump in the intro, so I think he has the advantage going into this race. And like always, we see a double 259. Alright, last chance for shell jumps. Xander just killing the shell, and Steven does not get it. So we'll be seeing 77 and a 76 pipe. Xander went for the fish bop and fell in the water. So that'll lose about half a second. And so far, Stephen has had the stronger Iggy's Castle. So, I believe we'll be seeing Stephen leave World 1 with about a second lead. Double 281. You can get a 282 on that door. Do have to do some pretty ridiculous net grabbing though. And usually in a race, especially when you're tied 2-2 in the series, there's maybe a little better of an idea to play it a tiny bit safe. Taking a death in Iggy's Castle doesn't lose the biggest amount of time. You could easily die somewhere else and lose more time. But having that time loss early on, World 1, not a good thing. So Stephen is about a half a second ahead. Mostly due to Xander's slip in Y4. Both of those Iggy's Castles were almost identical. Flying through DP1. I'll see who has the faster fly here. Stephen has fast fly, 362. Xander shows off by getting a key jump and jumping over the keyhole. I believe that would have been a 61. Heading into DS1. DS1 is probably the hardest stage. As I say, as both runners mess up the Koopa grab and basically canceling out each other's mistakes. Ooh. See, look, they were pretty much synced up doing the exact same strat. Xander's shell got destroyed by a fish, and Stephen's did not. It's one of the reasons why this level is so finicky. The frame rule for cape spinning will sometimes cause held items to be hit by the enemies, and sometimes they won't. It's pretty much all up to luck. Hopefully neither of the runners will have trouble with Big Boo this time. Xander confident enough that he won't get hit that he doesn't switch to fire. They both have a 337. Looks like Xander is about 4 seconds behind going into Star World. Time for Super M37 Smashola. Xander could pull ahead with good zips here. Oh, oh, that is not good. That happened to him in his practice, and I said how odd it was. Oof. You don't want to see that. He's going to have to go back for another cape, unless he's going to try to do no cape strats the rest of Star World. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, he's going to go on without cape. Stephen does know his no cape categories. He seems confident enough in his ability to get through the rest of Star World without a cape. He'll probably be grabbing one in Star World 4, possibly. Xander with a very nice 92. That was pretty good for that strat. It is faster to fly with the key over to the keyhole, but if you mess it up, it does lose a significant amount of time. Steven has some trouble hitting Lakitu with the throw block. Lakitu is invincible from throw blocks while he's throwing a Spiny. And when he throws a Spiny is also another frame rule. So sometimes you can enter the stage and you try to throw a block at him and he just doesn't get hit. And then of course by the time you are able to throw another block, he throws another Spiny. Xander misses door fly in room 2. Steven finally grabs that extra cape I was talking about. Looks like he's having trouble getting the flight to go down to the keyhole. Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Oh, what is Steven gonna do here? He has no cape in Star World 4. Xander re-enters front door with no power-ups. And it looks like Steven's just gonna... Okay. Looks like he was trying to go to the end of the level to maybe finish it. But really, there's nothing he could do. It looks like now he's just gonna give up and go back to Star World 1. Xander entering room 3 to grab the backup cape in front door. And then heads to room 7. Oh, lets go of his flight. Takes damage on the statue instead of cape canceling. Xander will be going into the Bowser fight small. Steven just now entering Star World 4 with a cape. He's back in business, but I don't know if he's close enough to regain the lead. Oh no. Oh, he saves it. Alright. I didn't want to say anything. Steven had a little trouble with his cape pumps and flew under the key block, was able to save it by turning around in midair and flying back. Preventing another death as he enters front door. Now he will be going for room 7. Let's see if Xander takes this backup mushroom. He does not. He's confident in himself. Unfortunately, if he dies here in the Bowser fight, Steven will probably take the lead with his cape. And probably a small chance of dying himself. Looks like Xander did not get ball skip. He went for the setup. If I remember correctly, I feel like I just watched him go for it. Yeah, it looks like he did. He threw it a little too early. The Mecha Koopa has to hit Bowser after he stops to throw the bowling ball. If you hit him too early, he'll still throw the ball. Alright, Xander with that last hit. And he looks like he does do it. So Xander will take the series.
End my suffering.
Yeah, that must be a live split thing. Xander will take the series 2-1 with a 1204 in SRL. Now, I will say it. Even though there were very many mistakes from both sides, this was quite the entertaining race. So watch Stephen finish up, and then if any of the racers want to hop in to the voice chat for the interview. Stephen finishes with a SRL time of 13 flat. Hello.
Oh. Hello.
Ooh, I hope you're not echoing. I forgot about
I
that.
am echoing, yes.
So, do you have any comments on how your races went?
Bad. The middle one was good, but then the other two were bad. There was just many mistakes. I died to zips.
I saw that. And you know, I mentioned while you were practicing before that you did that exact same thing, and I mentioned how weird that was. And I was like, I hope that doesn't happen in a race, and then it did.
I blame you for this.
What exactly causes that? When you go down too many blocks?
Yeah, I think it's just like starting the zip too far to the left. You can't get back far enough to the right, I guess. It's happened to me before. Just it's usually in like when I'm on good pace at 96, not here.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that it happens in an 11 exit race of all things.
Yeah, and that's like then after that, just like no caping Starworld 4. I don't exactly know what I'm doing. It all just sort of spiraled a little bit.
What was going through your mind when you missed the extra cape pumps in Starworld 4? Were you like, oh no, not again?
I mean, my comment was, oh crap, I Truman'd it, or something like that. But, yeah, it happens. And, like, I did manage to recover from that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you saved that, because I really didn't want to see you die again.
Neither did I. I'm just annoyed that I lost that cape and Starworld. Like, I might have had a chance if I managed to keep that cape and just beat Starworld 4 on the first try.
Yeah, it was, I think you were pretty close. If you had had a flawless front door, I think it might have still been close at that point.
Maybe, yeah. There's no way of knowing now.
In race 1, you, messed up the first hit of cape kill.
Yeah, which is the easy hit.
Which I'm pretty sure you said right before this race that first phase was free.
It is free. I don't know how that happened. That was so... I should just never say that anything's free because it guarantees that I will screw it up.
Alright, well... let's see here. Looking at the bracket. Let's see, is Xander waiting for me? No, okay. Looking at the bracket,
the winner of Paco and PJ.
Yeah, Xander will be going up against the winner of X Paco 5 and P Jelly. And let's see, 89. This bracket is so huge.
Hold on, I'm just going to report the scores, and then it will be much easier.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true.
To find me. I'm up against the winner of Leandrom and Waldo.
I believe.
I think I just upset a lot of people's brackets, including my own. Sorry.
Let's see. I believe. Yeah. Okay. So Waldo versus Leandrom is scheduled for Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, okay. When's the deadline for this round?
Let's see. And as for other matches today, we have Super Mega Dav versus Walconut at 1 p.m. Eastern, Matthew Gaming Live versus Monochrome at 4 p.m., and Bad Up versus Retro Dooley at 8 p.m. So, scattered out throughout the day. That is a giant eye emoji. Oh god, it's the stupid emoji face thing.
Oh no, not the stupid emoji face thing. Xander, why you gotta do this?
Why does Xander have you're like Stephen looking out of his castle?
I don't know. That was...
Alright, well, if you don't have any extra things to add, I think we'll wrap up here.
I don't know if there's anything... There's nothing I can say that will make this better.
Well, hopefully you go on to sweep the losers bracket.
Yeah, I figure that should be easy enough.
Alright,
I gotta claim 7th place so I can, yeah, 7th place so I can get some of the prize money.
oh yeah.
Because that's why you speedrun, for the money.
For the money.
Yeah.
Let's see. You have to make it, I don't even remember which match you have to make it to.
It's a while away.
Yeah. Losers round 8, I believe. And
well,
you just got spit into 3, so
3?
you got 5 matches to go.
Yeah, and 5 matches, and how many months away is losers round 8? Oh boy, it's TBD.
To be scheduled. It's so far in the future, we just don't even know.
I like the way that losers round 4 is marked as ASAP when nobody is there yet.
Yeah, I might, that might become a hard deadline after the losers round 1 and round 1 things happened. But we'll see. We'll have to schedule it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Louis is correct. You really, you're allowed 1 loss, but the earlier you lose, the more matches you have to play.
Yeah.
I guess that's the...
it's gonna take me a while to get out of this.
Alright, well, I think we're about done here. Thank you everybody for watching.
I think I'm done with my own stream as well, because it's like 11 PM and I have work in the morning.
Let's see.
Should we go for the double host?
I'm going to host Agathor, so...
Alright, let's do it.
Oh god.
I'm gonna do the raid thing. / raid Agathor. 86. No, not with a Y. Heck. It's good, I'm just gonna host.
Xander
Thanks
just
everyone
has
for
stream,
watching.
I
Bye.
can't host him. 86.
Hmm?
There we go. Alright. Good night, everybody.